Zayman Mike here from Vanwood Productions Live, and welcome to episode 9 of Couch Talk.
Episode 11? No, 10.
Wait.
10.
Episode 10? Are we
Yeah,
on 10?
last one was episode 9.
Oh, yeah, I'll say, okay, yeah, episode 10.
I missed one episode and everything goes to crap over here.
Yeah, it's been a long day. I've been up since 5 o'clock this morning.
He's doing it for you.
Yeah. All for you guys.
Anywho,
yeah. So I'm Zayman Mike.
I'm Jill.
This is Jill. At this point, she's no longer a guest. She's just...
I'm a regular now.
Yeah.
Except for last episode.
Yeah.
That was for school, though. So you can't blame me.
She temporarily regenerated into a guy and figured out what it was like. And it just happened to take the form of Alex.
Yeah. But luckily I had a spare body part from the last time I regenerated, so I just regenerated it back into myself, and everything's hunky-dory.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the episode now?
Yeah!
Clara's dead! I mean, no.
Well,
but yeah.
Okay, let's be fair. We actually are glad Clara's gone.
We're glad Clara's gone, but it's still sad that she's dead, but
See,
I'm so happy that she's gone. She should have been gone, in my opinion, from, like, the name of the doctor. After she sacrificed herself, there shouldn't have been a Deus Ex John Hurt there.
Yeah.
But anyway, but they needed her for the 50th, and I'll probably end up explaining that, but what were you going to say?
Yeah. But yeah, we were totally glad that, Clara is dead, but at the same time, it's not that I feel bad that she's dead.
But the doctor.
I feel bad for the doctor.
Because every time, no matter what you think of the companion, whenever the companion leaves, it's so painful for the doctor every time.
Well,
and Peter Capaldi is like a giant puppy for me.
Yeah.
I just, don't be sad. No, don't be sad.
I mean, I think you should clarify something.
Yeah.
when the companions leave in a way like Clara left, the doctor gets really emotional about it.
Yeah.
But if it's just a walkout, kind of like Martha did.
I mean, yeah, but
it didn't affect him too much after she left.
I mean, yeah, but
I mean, at the same...
You know what I mean? When a companion dies or can never see him again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's...
I was just talking about Martha earlier. I may end up bringing her up again, but beside the point.
Yeah.
Whenever a companion dies or they can't or can't see him again, it's terrible on the doctor's end.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, I didn't like Rose, but Rose is the perfect example, pretty much.
Yeah. Especially since they had a romantic connection by the end of it, and it was just so sad.
Yep. But anyways, so the actual episode itself.
Okay.
Initial thoughts.
I liked it a lot because, well, not just because of Clara, but I was genuinely confused for a good almost 10 minutes, and that's kind of what I want out of a Doctor Who episode.
Yeah.
I don't want to go in knowing everything or being able to make connections before everybody else does, and it's it was a good mystery they built until the mystery got to be broken, and then hijinks ensued.
Yeah.
And it was...
Yeah.
Your initial thoughts.
My initial thoughts.
Channel.
Hey, it is. Well, guests are first, so
Well, yeah, but
but no, I agree. I love this. I liked this episode. I didn't love this episode. I think there's been other episodes this season that I've loved. This is among the ones I liked.
I feel that. I didn't hate it. But
I'm not saying I hate it at all. I am not saying that. I'm saying...
Just making sure that they know that you're not saying that.
Yeah.
He hates the episode!
No, I do not. But no, this episode, I looked up the writer, and it was by a Sarah Dollar. I can't remember if she was the new writer that they were talking about, or if there's another episode that they had a new female writer for.
I think...
I feel it was this one.
Was it,
I don't know.
I mean, I don't recognize the name, but I know that a woman wrote, what was it? It was the second half of The Woman Who Died.
Yeah.
Or like one of those. I forget.
I don't know. But I mean, but like really, the writing for this episode was I think to the point that it was satisfactory.
Yes.
It wasn't like grand like Moffat writing. It was like more, as you said, mysterious writing, pretty much. Like making you ask, like, okay, what's this and what's that, and what's so forth, so forth.
Yeah.
And I mean, the way that they used the secret city
Secret tunnel.
in London, and how they made all the aliens actually look like people, and then we were able to see like quick glimpses of what aliens they actually were. Like for instance, we had Judoon, we had
A Centaur.
Centaur.
We had an Ood like fixing up a Cyberman.
Yeah,
and it looked like a dude wrapping another dude's head. That was bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and there's some other races. There was one I saw that I feel I've seen like on the Sarah Jane Adventures. I think I saw one from that.
That would be a fun Easter egg.
The other one I couldn't tell because it was way too fast.
It was so fast. It looked like somebody from Avatar: The Blue People movie.
It was a blue alien. I mean, not Dorian.
Not to be racist.
Not Dorian, but he's in the head in the box.
Oh, Dorian. I forgot who that was for a second. But
no, like, honestly, like, I like the fact that we brought back Rixie.
Yeah, I like, he was probably my favorite part of this episode. I mean, just because, like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into like the actual episode again.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I don't remember why, but they're like looking for that hidden street with and so they're like looking at old maps and looking at London from above in the TARDIS with the glasses. I liked. And so the scene is like Clara's hanging out of the door of the TARDIS. I wonder if she's going to be in any sort of danger there. Everything good happens hanging outside the TARDIS. So, of course something, makes the TARDIS go, wah, and she slides out and her foot and her leg, like, catch the doors, and I'm like, bull crap. There's no way. And, like, she's just, like, giggling, and, she's just so happy, and I'm like, you're hanging over London, hundreds of feet in the air. You could die from this, Clara. What the heck?
And we were all hoping that she would.
We were like, fall.
We were terrible people.
We are terrible people, but we really wanted Clara to go because she's been here for too long. But anyway, so the scene, so the TARDIS like shakes the other way, and she slides back in, and she's still laughing, and Rixie just looks at the doctor and is like, she enjoyed that too much, and he said that like 30 seconds after I said it to Zane, and I was like, yes, I like you, Rixie. Can he be the new companion now? Because that'd be fantastic.
Well, no, because he has a kid to take care of. I mean,
But like, okay.
Kid, doctor. Kid's probably going to be way more important.
Time travel.
Still.
Time travel.
Still.
He can still be there for his kid. He can do what he did with Clara. He can live at home and be with the doctor part-time.
I don't think it's that easy when you have a child.
I know. But how great would it be?
Yes, it would be great, just like how we wish Maisie Williams was the next companion, which that's not going to happen.
That's definitely not going to happen now.
No. We'll get to that.
If there was any chance of that ever happening, she totally just blew it.
Yeah.
Good job, Mayor.
Yeah, gosh. Okay, now that we brought that, I have to address this now. Okay, so Maisie Williams did come back for this episode.
Which was awesome.
Yeah, she was good, as per usual. And now we can add another name to her list. So she was Ash.
Ashilder was her birth name.
Yep.
And then whatever other names she had in the past.
Me.
And then there was me. And now she's Mayor.
Yes.
The Mayor. I love the way she explained that too. She's like, you give yourself a title, I get to give myself one.
I mean, yeah. But
still.
Yeah. But, yeah, so she was like, okay. She was really good at, like, pretty much, like, being a dick to everybody.
Whoa, you cursed. She
I
was
mean,
though. I mean,
she was. I mean,
she was, but it was they tried to explain it as kind of like the tough love person in charge. Like this has to be done in order to keep the peace, and it's not always the best thing. But
see, okay, here's where that should be overwritten, because if you've seen like the Next Time trailer for this episode, from last week or whatever,
I'm so pumped.
You know that Rigsy has the numbers on his back.
Yeah.
Or on his neck.
Yeah,
so that's actually what that is it's pretty much a countdown to his death, because it's technically a death sentence that like tells you how much time you have until you die, which that is kind of scary.
It really is.
It's like, oh, you have 537 minutes left of your life. Spend it well. Oh wait, you don't even remember why you have the number on your back. Which, that's the other thing.
Yeah.
If you leave the secret,
If you leave the secret tunnel,
your mind is wiped. So you don't remember.
Something about the lights.
Yeah, it's telepathic.
Yeah. You get retconned, and so Rigsy has this on his back, and apparently Maisie Williams is in control of it. She has this like cool quantum tattoo thing that's like a lock on his life, basically.
It is.
And it's cool. And they're confronting her about it, and she's like, I gave him time to go say goodbye to his family. And they're like, well, yeah, but he doesn't even know why he has to say goodbye to his family, or that he should be saying goodbye to his family, because you retconned him.
And see, the one thing also with that is, so like, they kind of pulled the "you were there, so you're the one that did it" card.
Yeah, you happened to be standing over the body, so obviously you did it.
Which, okay, I know that actually happens in today's society, which is it's kind of it's not right.
I mean, it happened to Sirius Black, so.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, I get that Maisie Williams is trying to enforce these rules that, if anything goes wrong, basically, whoever is in the area of the event is basically the cause of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, you should still, have some, thoughts of reason, maybe, this was just a passerby, and the real person, disappeared.
But, okay, so the way they explained it was, okay, so it's all these different alien life forms living in here, and they, I'm sure quite a few of them hate each other, but it's basically a place where lost souls can take refuge and live and not be bothered by humans or Zygons.
Yeah.
And but that's a very delicate thing to have to keep order inside. It's a tough job that Maisie Williams has to keep them from killing each other, basically.
Yeah.
And she's doing a pretty good job of it, but it comes at that cost of having to be that person that calls the tough shots.
Yeah.
And
I don't know, though. I mean,
but you're right. I agree with you. It's very arbitrary.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. Sometimes you gotta make the hard choice. But at the same time, have a voice of reason while doing it. Just blatantly saying, oh, you're the murderer. Alright, you have 538 minutes left of your life. It's like, no. You need to check everything through. And if they really did, okay, fine. Give them the death count. That's fine.
Well,
but have a good purpose for it.
But she never really intended to kill him, which is what we learned at the end of it. Was that she did it for one reason or another, because if someone else had killed her and then got blamed, then fingers would be pointed all over the place, and that would disturb the delicate balance that they had.
Yeah.
And then this human stumbles in. I don't remember exactly what they said. I need to rewatch this episode because so much was said.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But but a human that happened to be there, and it has no connections to anybody else, can be blamed, and nobody is mad at anybody. And so she, cast him off. But she said that she made a deal with the Raven, who is attached to the cool tattoo lock thing that she has. And when the numbers count down to 0, the thing on her neck disappears, lets the Raven out of the cage. Raven goes and kills the said person, and then it comes back. So she said that she made a deal with it that it would get a soul unless she personally took it off the person.
Yeah.
But then there's a new mechanic that is introduced that we should probably explain. Where if you have the countdown on you, you can pass it on to somebody.
Yeah.
As long as they're willing and you're willing to give it to them. Except
once you do, it's pretty much that whoever takes it from you, pretty much you've just set their death. Pretty much.
Which is why it has to be willingly. You can't just say, "Hey, you have the countdown now. You're dead now."
Well,
no,
see, that's
someone has to be willing to take it from them, and then they get to die for them.
And see, okay, now, yeah, like with that though, like so, in this episode, Clara, go figure, is the one that takes it from Riggsy, and she thinks, oh, we can buy more time by doing this. Well,
because she doesn't know the whole story.
Exactly.
Like she learned from one of the other guys on the street that you can pass it on to somebody, but he doesn't tell her everything. He doesn't tell her that once you do that, it's final. So she thinks that she can get out of it by having it on her, because whenever anything happens to Clara, obviously the doctor's going to reverse it, because Clara! Clara!
But it's, like, when we get to the final confrontation, though, and she's basically like, alright, so how are we going to fix this? And everybody around her is like,
we can't, Clara, you screwed up. And up until that point, because, so we should probably explain Maisie Williams' master plan.
Yeah, because it's a little sketchy.
It is a little sketchy, so...
her main objective pretty much for this episode was to give a mystery.
Lure the doctor in with the mystery.
Which would be Riggsy. Which, one thing we should mention is, so when Riggsy does talk to the Doctor and Clara in the beginning of the episode, we eventually find out that he was called by somebody to the secret entrance of the alien world. And like from there, that's like how...
that's how he got there in the first place.
That's how he got there. So obviously Maisie Williams...
called him and brought him in.
Yep.
He scapegoat.
And then so that's how the doctor obviously, look for it, find the city. And Maisie Williams, the mayor, says, basically, like, you love mysteries, so like, or no, it's the two-headed girl that actually tells the doctor, because they had some freaky aliens, but I have to admit, the two-headed aliens.
The two-faced aliens.
Yeah, one can see into the past and the future, which I thought that's actually a pretty cool.
And it's interesting because the doctor says that only the females of that race can have that ability. And they, so in the beginning, one of that type of alien is murdered, and the Riggsy is blamed. That's what we've been talking about the whole time. And she has a child, but it's her son, so they can't, see what happened or what's going to happen at that point.
Yeah.
So, but they track down her son, who's actually her daughter. I don't remember why she had to disguise her as a boy. She said it would be safer, but I don't remember why.
Yeah.
Probably because of that power, actually, now that I think about it, because that's a pretty powerful thing to have, to be able to see almost everything from the past and the future. It's crazy.
crazy.
It's crazy.
So yeah, and it's interesting because we actually do find out that oh yeah, the person's not actually dead.
Just in stasis.
It's like, great.
I mean, again, it makes sense because of Maisie Williams' plan, because it was sketchy, but she does say, like, she freaks out when she finds out that Clara has taken the thing and screwed herself. And she's like, I never meant for anybody to get hurt. She totally intended to free Rigsy.
Yeah.
But, you know, Clara screwed it up.
And I love the one line, like, I didn't think she made such a stupid mistake. I'm like,
we're like, yep.
It's like, you clearly do not know Clara.
Like you claim to. Like when the Doctor and Clara come in and Maisie Williams comes in and she's like, who are you? She's like, sorry, sorry, everlasting life, normal size memory, Clara Oswald. And she's like, I read about you in my diaries. And I'm like, we had one conversation.
Yeah. And then they kind of hint at, was Clara saying that she knew the Doctor saw her again?
She knew that the Doctor had lost track of her, she said. And she's like, oh, come on, don't think I don't notice. But anyway, so my point in saying that was that if you clearly know Clara better than you know the Doctor, how did you not think she would try to do something like this, Maisie? Mayor. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my point of all that was that she, didn't intend for anybody to get hurt. She, however that woman's death was faked, she kept her in stasis so that she could, live after the whole trap for the Doctor was done.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of frenemies now, I think. They used to be frenemies.
No, they are enemies now.
Now they're enemies, but they used to be just sort of frenemies.
And see, okay, so yeah, we're starting to get kind of towards the part where Clara starts actually leaving. So,
yes. But we're trying to set it up.
Trying to. We're not doing a very good job.
No, this is all over the place because we're just so excited.
I know.
We're so happy, guys.
We're terrible people.
We are.
We're terrible. But they find the other alien that has the two faces is alive.
Yeah, the daughter.
And so they're like, oh hey, they kept her in stasis, and then the Doctor starts going through all the medical data, and it's like, oh, so we can actually bring her back to life, but there's got to be some button or something. Rigsy.
Yeah, they have to get her out. They have to get her out of stasis, and they find the keyhole on the side.
And so, the Doctor says, she didn't want us to take her key. She wanted me to use my key, and he pulls out the TARDIS key. Now, okay, when I saw this scene, me knowing what happens kind of in the finale, it kind of makes sense.
Excuse you.
It kind of makes sense.
Tread carefully.
I know. Because, okay, think about it. What other reason would a TARDIS key need to be used? Besides opening the TARDIS.
To summon the TARDIS?
Well, to summon the TARDIS, but to actually turn in something other than the TARDIS, door entrance. It's not used for anything else. So
it's a TARDIS key.
So why would a TARDIS key be the one that opens and gets the thing out of stasis?
Well, I mean, it's the one. He's the one that has the key to it. He's the one that needs to get trapped.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he gets. It's obviously it's a trap. I mean,
it's a trap.
It is a trap. But what I'm getting at is that the fact that he had to use the TARDIS key of all keys. He had to use the TARDIS key to open it. And of course, when he does that, he does release it, but then he gets a teleportation bracelet on him.
Yeah, he gets cuffed.
And if you looked around the room, I don't know if it was foreshadowing or if it was just by design, but I got a real, I don't know, for me, you totally saw something different, but for me, I kind of got a hint of Gallifrey and Architect, on the walls a little bit. Like, if you think...
I'll let you know if I see that when I rewatch it, because I do need to rewatch it, because so much, like, just went over my head in this
Because,
episode.
like, when I looked in the background, it's like, you know, those shapes look kind of like the round things in the TARDISes of the previous Doctors.
What are the round things?
Except they're not round things. They're
Well,
they're
sort of round.
yeah. But like,
but you know, they're in hexagons.
yeah. So,
That's where the round things go.
but then if you also look at the bracelet that gets put on the Doctor's arm.
Yeah,
Look
it does look like.
Look at the two. There's two like little circles. Look at the circles. We don't get a clear depiction of the circles, but off of what I could tell, it's like maybe it's just me. That kind of looks Gallifreyan to me.
It kind of did look Gallifreyan.
And it's like so, and that's why I say that's why the TARDIS key had to be used because it was for Gallifreyan.
Time Lord technology.
Yes.
There we go.
Which is why now I said in the last episode,
Like it.
But I mean,
face.
yeah. So this is basically saying, yeah, we're going to Gallifrey now.
About dang time.
I mean,
it was only like what 2 years ago that we saved Gallifrey.
yeah.
2 years.
And the funny thing is, and I mean, of course, this could change next week, but like the fact that I think the Doctor gets next week, he gets sent to
Time Lord Azkaban.
If it is on Gallifrey, because I feel like it might like be a place like a purgatory place,
It does
and
look
then like towards the end of the episode, it might be he actually does reach Gallifrey, and then that's when he has to confront the Time Lords about the hybrids.
Whatever the heck the hybrid is. I mean, it's not obvious.
Well, I mean, basically the hybrid is like joining two mighty races together to be one huge like power.
Hybrid!
You know.
I mean, yeah, but like, we don't know what specifically it is.
Well, no, I mean,
We
that's what the finale is going to be about.
We assume it has something to do with the Time Lords.
Well, it does have something to do with the Time Lords.
I know, but like, but what if that's the trick? What if they make us think it's about the Time Lords? But really,
it is about the Time Lords because I was one of those people that read spoilers when I probably shouldn't have read spoilers.
And now he's broadcasting the spoiler.
All I say is we're going to Gallifrey, which we should have seen it by now. Like,
I know, but I didn't see it coming just from like the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Excuse you.
I don't know. But no, so yeah, the Doctor gets trapped. Obviously, yeah. And we find out that Maisie's character Mayor was actually in league with this kind of... It's very a shadowy organization, you can kind of call it. Like, think of a clan like the Headless Monks.
Oh yeah,
Think kind of like that, but like a little, like even more sketchier than them.
Wow, the Headless Monks were already sketchy.
I know, but like...
That was Demon's Run. That was the sketchiest Doctor Who could get.
Well, I have a feeling the people she was working with were way more sketchier than the Headless Monks. I mean...
Demon's Run was messed up, you guys. We are in for some crap.
So obviously, Clara's time runs out.
But yeah, right after we find out that there is absolutely no way to save her.
Well, yeah. And so we get into this, this whole spiel with
The whole
Clara.
goodbye speech. And I got so mad because even like throughout the episode, it was still that generic companion writing that I feel like Clara has fallen into this season.
Yeah.
Up until that last...
Up
until that last 2 minutes she was alive, after they found out, and she had this whole, almost everything she said really got to me. This was the Clara that I missed from like the Matt Smith era, when she had a point. But you know what I mean, like I'm so mad that they brought back the Clara that I liked 2 seconds before they killed her.
Yeah.
And
And see, it's funny, Moffat didn't even write this one, so
No.
we can't blame him.
They can't. But like,
I don't know, like, I'll admit it was a touchy speech, but at the same time, I was like, alright, get it over with, please.
please get it over.
I know it's coming.
Rip it off like a band-aid.
Yes, it's like, I'm not gonna, I will admit though, I mean, yes, it was a very touching scene between the Doctor and Clara.
I mean,
At the same time though, it's like, we've seen this countless times before, so it's nothing new.
it really isn't, and there wasn't a whole lot of it that was unique to Clara.
Yeah.
Except for maybe like the fact that she got to say face to him, pretty much what Amy said in her afterward. You're gonna be alone. Don't let it change you. Don't let it turn you into what they want you to be.
Yeah.
And she just got to say that face to face. But again, we've still seen it before.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like you said, before we even turned on camera, it was kind of the thing with David Tennant and Water on Mars.
yeah,
Like when
like right before she started in her speech, because he was about to rain hell on Maisie Williams, and he pretty much said, "I'm going to do that," and Clara stopped him, and I like that line after she died where the Doctor comes back in and is about to be like transported with the cuff, and Maisie said something, I don't remember what, because we were still freaking out over the fact that Clara's dead.
Yeah.
But she said some. I think she apologized, which good for you, Maisie. But you done.
Well, the Doctor basically straight out says, "You just made the biggest mistake you could possibly make."
But my favorite thing was he said when Clara was talking about how him not being mad, she wasn't saving me. She wasn't saving me.
Yeah.
She was saving you. Or something like that.
Yeah, no.
Something like that. That was a terrible quotation on my part.
No, the Doctor's like,
watch it.
she was being brave, but she wasn't saving me, she was saving you. And when he says that, he's saying that to Maisie, like,
Yeah.
it's like, this wasn't for me. It was because,
Because she knows what I will do.
yeah.
She knows the lengths to which I will go, the depths to which I will sink.
And okay.
Do you get that reference?
Yeah.
No.
There is one part, we got to backtrack a little bit.
Yeah, we gotta backtrack, because we're out of order. So bad.
It's like kind of before the speech from Clara a little
Yeah.
bit, but the Doctor, like, Maisie's character is saying, like, I know how you are, Doctor, and like, I know, like, what you've done throughout history and so forth, and the Doctor, and again, this is what Capaldi is awesome. He gets so infuriated with her, and he throws out his own rules, and he straight says, "The Doctor is not here. You are stuck with me." So basically,
that hurt more than Clara's death did. Pretty.
like, this is
That made it hurt more because that's the thing that's why I'm upset about this, because I'm glad that Clara's gone. I'm sad that Jenna's gone, but it hurts so much because of how much the Doctor cared.
Oh yeah.
And it shows really well throughout the whole. It started off the whole season with the fake out with Clara's death, and the whole badass thing with the Doctor stealing Davros's chair and going up to the Supreme, what is it, the Dalek Supreme or whatever he was. Sounds like a dessert. and saying and basically pointing a gun at all the Daleks and saying, "Who is going to tell me that Clara Oswald is dead?"
And see, yes, and that was the same. That was actually literally the same Doctor we saw in this. Although this Doctor was pushed up like 3 levels.
He was like, "I am going to bring every single evil in this universe onto your head,"
which I thought that was awesome. And it's like the Zygons, Unit, Daleks, Cybermen,
everything.
And
until Clara stopped him.
Yeah, and the one thing I like about this episode is it actually touches on previous episodes that Maisie wasn't seen in, but she still knows about. Like, for instance, the Zygons. Like,
I mean, the Zygons were everywhere, so.
well, yeah, but at the same time, the fact that
That is
she's
great.
actually like acknowledging that she knew it happened. It's like, you know, it's a good thing. They're like loosely tying them in, but I mean, at the same time, it's like, okay, there's a more grand narrative, so it's not like as essential.
And it makes sense because it's like, because she did say at the end of The Woman Who Lived that she would be keeping an eye on him. Because he said, I'll be keeping an eye on you. She's like, no.
And she just,
I'll keep an eye on you.
Just does the creeper in the fence.
The creeper in the fence.
And she says she's just doing that to get his attention.
He's like, yeah, I saw you. No, I got your attention.
Yeah.
I love how she's 2 steps ahead of him all the time. It's my favorite thing. Except now that she done screwed up.
Yeah. So yeah, like the doctor pretty much says right before he beams away, like, if I were you, I would not get anywhere near me because now you and I are enemies. Like like I feel
bad for Maisie Williams because even though I don't know how she got involved with the sketchy stuff that she did, that's on her. But at the same time, she did not want anybody to get hurt. That whole thing with Clara dying was actually Clara's fault.
Oh yeah, no, it totally was. Cause
he'll never acknowledge that, and it'll never be portrayed that way.
No.
But yeah, Clara done effed up. And it's Clara's fault that she died because she was just playing around with death as a strategy. She said, like, to buy us some time. And which everybody was like, don't do it, and she's like, I'm gonna do it.
Yep.
Because that's pretty much what Clara's character has become. That's pretty
her.
much what they turned Clara's character into. Don't do it. I'm gonna do it.
Yep.
And I think that's why she annoyed me so much. I hate when people do that. Except in Harry Potter, then it's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, ultimately that's pretty much the episode in a nutshell.
I'm so excited for the next episode, though.
Yeah,
we
are introduced
in spiritual Azkaban.
We're introduced to the new enemy, the Veil, which we luckily we watched a few next time trailers, and the last one we watched, we actually got a really good, kind of good view of what the Veil looks like. It's honestly, going into your Harry Potter realm here, kind of reminded me of a Death Eater in a way.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, and that's cool. For what the story sounds like, it sounds like a Death Eater type thing would be the perfect monster to be within that realm. So. Or
like, it feels to me like a mix between a Dementor and a Boggart. That shows you like your deepest fear. Except it's not about fear. I feel like it's more like a mirror. Like in Never-Ending Story, where do you know Never-Ending Story?
Never-Ending Story. It sounds so familiar.
It's that movie from like the 80s or 90s. Never-Ending Story.
No idea. Okay,
so there's this kid that has to pass all these gates to get to a certain point. One of them is it's a mirror that shows someone their true self, and basically the way it's described is as at the sight of who they truly are, most men run away screaming, or like someone who's brave is actually cowardly, someone who's strong is actually weak.
Yeah.
So I feel not to that extent, but I feel like that it has that sort of creepy element that gets in that psychological element that gets inside his head, and it's following him, and it's creepy, and I like it.
Oh yeah, yeah. It'll be interesting because these next 2 episodes, which are pretty much the
finale.
The next episode's the setup, and then obviously the one after that is the official finale, which by the way, the official finale is actually going to be longer than the typical running time. It's going to be like a little over an hour.
Yes.
So
all the more Gallifrey.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're bringing back Gallifrey. You better spend.
You better just give us 45 minutes of Gallifrey. You better
spend like a good amount of like time on Gallifrey if you're going to bring it back. Which, okay, now that I think about that, again, like I said, I don't know how it's going to happen after next week's episode.
Yeah.
But the fact that if he happens to get transported from where he is in the next episode to Gallifrey at the end.
Or like what we said, I like the thing that's, maybe it's like a middle ground. Like somehow maybe the whole thing is just like a giant lock, and somehow he has to figure out the puzzle in order to get to the other side.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
Oh, well, that would make sense. Because the synopsis says the Doctor has to take on the Veil, and if he can defeat the Veil, then Gallifrey is pretty much on the other side of the door.
I totally did not know that, and I totally just called it.
Like, that kind of makes sense. But see, okay, here's my thing though.
Here's your thing.
If that is what's going to happen, which I have a feeling it is going to happen, is the Doctor like going to be like he's going to like be just transported to a different part of Gallifrey, or like or from wherever he is, or is he actually going to be sent back and actually use his TARDIS to find it? Because
yeah, maybe it's just like his.
Because see, okay.
Because remember, I think it was last season finale when I think didn't Missy give him the coordinates?
Missy gave him the coordinates.
And there was nothing there, and he pounded the hell out of the TARDIS, and that made me cry. Okay.
Well,
but
I heard some. I don't know. I think this was jokingly, but like some people said,
maybe she just did.
If only the Doctor had looked the other direction, Gallifrey would have been right behind him. It's like,
if only his TARDIS had
turned 180
been facing this way instead of this way, he would have seen Gallifrey. Or maybe that was just Missy effing with him. Or maybe it was actually there. He just had to get through this veil thing to get to it.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
See, my thing is, I would rather the Doctor find Gallifrey with his TARDIS so that he can officially say, I know where Gallifrey is.
Yeah. Instead
of him being transported there by some force or something. Like, okay, don't get me wrong. The Doctor taking on the Time Lords, which if you remember, like...
If you remember the Time Lords from the end of time, it's not going to be pretty.
But keep in mind, the Doctor's kind of fixed that, so they might be slightly different than they were in the end of time.
Yeah,
but I mean,
Lords.
I mean, Time Lords are ruthless. I mean, they are. I mean, that's pretty much right. One reason the Doctor ran away from Gallifrey.
I mean, I'm so nervous because I'm like crawling through Classic Who at this point because I know how the second Doctor regenerates and I'm not ready. I love him too much.
Oh, it's the War Games, right?
Yeah,
that's a long story, but in the end, it's like
I'm not ready for all that pain. I love Jamie and I don't want him to go.
I don't want to go.
I don't want to. Fuck you.
I don't know if you guys saw that, but I said I don't want to go.
Yeah.
Tennant,
I'm not just randomly cursing at him.
No.
You had to actually blur out a middle finger last episode. That was
more than one.
More than one. He would have had so much trouble if I had been there because when I saw the review, I was just screaming F you at my computer over and over.
Yeah.
You'd have had so much fun editing all those F-bombs.
Oh gosh.
Into that high-pitched noise that Leighton hates.
Yep. I've had to use on her once in a while.
Consensus time, I guess.
Yeah. So.
We covered everything.
Yeah, now that we've kind of talked about our predictions and our thoughts of this episode as well. So what is the overall consensus?
I thought about it pretty much the entire time we've been sitting here. I think I'm going to give it a solid 8.
Okay.
Just because, again, like we said at the beginning, I didn't love it, but I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I loved, it was just a really creative episode.
It was.
And I think, like any other complaints that I might have had about it, this was just a really creative and fun episode to look at. Especially with, I didn't want to take my eyes away with that thing about how if you looked away for a second, one of the people might glitch and become something that I might recognize.
Yeah.
Like an Ood or a Jadoon or whatever. Yeah. It was just such a creative episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid 8.
I'll go half point above.
You always do that.
Yeah, I know. It's not on purpose. But no, yeah, so 8.5.
You always gotta one-up me.
Yeah, I mean, same reasons. Like, this was a unique episode. It was still generic, but in a good way. It wasn't like other episodes.
Other episodes that we will definitely not mention.
But no, and I like this. I would almost go as far as to say for this episode, it's pretty much the prequel to the finale.
Yeah.
That's the sense I'm getting from this episode. Like they focused on a story, but the main goal of it was to start this rolling snowball effect of, all right, all this stuff is going to come, and then at one point the snowball's going to hit a rock, and everything's just going to go crazy. Which in the finale, yeah, things are probably going to go really crazy.
Things are going to go down in the finale.
So, yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, writing was good. It wasn't anything spectacular. But, I mean, at the same time, I don't always expect spectacular. I mean, if it's good writing, it's good writing. I mean...
I have an idea. Final, say on Clara's death. Final opinion on Clara's death.
Which aspect?
Just anything about it. Like, how it went about, what you think about it, or just...
Well, I mean, the fact that she actually took on the Raven, she didn't run from it, I will admit, that was ballsy of her.
I'm a little mad that she, because the doctor was like, stay with me. And I'm like, yes, you can face the Raven, but you can still, stay with the doctor. He had to run out just to see her die, or just to be with her. You didn't have to walk out. It would find you.
Well, but see, again, she was at the point where she's like, no, it is my time to go. Yeah. And of course, all the fans that want to run are like, yep, get out of here, see ya.
Get out of here!
But no, I'll give her props. And able to face the Raven and not run from it and face your death is okay, I didn't like you all that much, Clara, but I will give you props on this one. It's
yes.
You chose the hard choice, but ultimately,
I mean,
yeah.
My only thing about it, and I was saying this right before we were setting up the camera, that's why I brought it up. But my only thing about Clara's death was that it felt like a half-assed repeat of her death in the name of the Doctor, where she sacrifices herself to save, in that case, the Doctor, in this case, Rigsy. But when she took the numbers from Rigsy, she didn't know she didn't think she was sacrificing herself. She just thought that they were going to bide some time because, like I said earlier, obviously the Doctor's going to save her if she's the one that has the numbers on it, and it would just buy them time. And while I give her props for following through with it, not trying until the last second to find a way out. She accepted her fate, but at the same time, it felt a little less noble because of the way it came about. I feel like the name of the Doctor should have been where Clara ended, but they needed a companion who knew the Doctor well enough for the 50th so they could have that turnaround. Because, I mean, I was saying earlier, if imagine the 50th anniversary with a completely new companion who is just completely lost and has no idea what's going on and is probably frustrated as heck because it's who are you? Why are there 3 of you that look completely different? What are these blobby things? Why is this thing going to explode?
Well, and see, if that were the case, I feel Osgood would probably be that character to fill in that role.
Oh yeah.
Because
they had a perfect setup. Now you have no excuse.
Yes.
Now it even matter.
So it's
Osgood. Osgood knows everything.
Yeah.
She's his biggest fan. Why couldn't she be the new companion?
Well, we've already discussed why she can't be the new companion. Because she can
save the world.
At this point, I think we can all say the the human Osgood is probably dead, but the two remaining Zygon Osgoods are still like doing her.
I'm still wondering if it's. I still think. I think the opposite. I think the human died.
That's why I said the human Osgood.
I mean the Zygon.
No, I think it is the Zygon.
Oh yeah, the human. Yeah, so both the Zygon.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find that out when nobody cares anymore.
But no, like yeah. So I mean,
Yeah,
he could have actually done the 50th without a companion because Osgood would have been
and
that.
then you could have introduced a new companion with 12
Capaldi.
with Capaldi.
Although.
Oh yeah, okay, because then you had because then you had Matt Smith regenerating right after, but you could have had a couple specials or something that introduced, or a special that introduced a new companion.
But I mean, Matt Smith is like more and more becoming more noticeable because of Doctor Who. So
Yeah.
he had projects that he was working on at the same time as Doctor Who.
That's true.
So he
he shaved his head.
for like a
For a.
was it Broadway or because I know it was a show.
It was
some
for
type of
something.
show.
He shaved his head for something, but anyway, yeah. So that probably couldn't have happened.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. It's all wibbly wobbly,
Yeah.
timey-wimey, scripty-whipty,
yeah.
messed up.
Yeah, but
But anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know how they would have fit it better. Maybe with a couple of revisions and like future plans, but other than that,
I mean,
I really don't see the purpose for Clara beyond the name of the Doctor very much, except for like in the 50th. But like, cause like with my problem is with past companions, there was a purpose for the companion, not just like for the Doctor's sake, but for people watching. Like, Rose was there to show us that you can change your life if you want to. Martha was there to tell us that we don't have to put up with a bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
Donna was there to remind us that we're all important. Beyond that, I feel like it's more about the companions themselves than what the companions can portray or what the companions can do for us. Like, and because I mean I feel bad that I'm comparing to the Russell T Davies era again, but the Russell T Davies era companions all had distinctive families that we kept going back to and involving in their lives. I mean, and we got glimpses. It made sense with Amy because they got swallowed up by the crack. Except for because they got brought back at the end of. Did we ever see them again? No. We saw Arthur Weasley for a couple episodes.
No, we did see Amy's parents.
When? Beyond the wedding, when?
Oh, beyond the wedding, no.
Beyond the wedding.
Like we saw them at the wedding.
When they came back, they never showed up again.
Well, I mean, they were married, so I mean, what?
I mean, they were married, but they involved Rory's dad somehow.
Well, because they hadn't shown any of.
And he was great, but it felt so impersonal.
Yeah.
And Clara pretty much has no family, from what we know of.
In Series 7, they had the two kids that she was looking over, and that was kind of nice, but that wasn't a family. That was just...
But that was just like some kids that she nannied for because she was a nanny in a past life,
Well, yeah,
and that was like an Easter egg. And then they never showed up again, and then she became a school teacher.
Which, ironically, a school teacher
at the same school that Susan went.
Yeah.
That was great. But they didn't really go anywhere with it besides that one student that came to the moon with them.
Yeah.
But they don't feel as much like real people to me. I mean, Amy and Rory were a little bit better, but Clara got a little detached from me and sort of became a very stock companion.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm so happy she's gone. Because I'm tired of it. I need substance.
Yeah, well, and I mean, people have made the argument that Amy and Rory were roughly around 3 seasons long.
Yeah, and
Amy,
while they did drag that out a little bit, they filled it with stuff like drama between them, and there was stuff.
But with Clara, it's just her
being there. And
Which, okay, now we're going to go back to Series 8 and say, no, something that I noticed I wish they wouldn't have done.
yeah.
Maybe mid-season, Series 9, they should have gotten rid of Danny Pink.
Aww. I liked Danny.
Well,
he was the one thing about
that's
Clara.
my point. Like,
he was the one thing about Clara that I liked.
Exactly. Like if imagine if we kept Danny Pink through the mid Series 9, and he died. How much would
And then, because after he died, they brought it up in that episode we won't speak of for like 2 seconds, and we thought that it was going to build up to some kind of thing going on with Clara. Nope. There was no emotional development there. She was just like, my boyfriend's dead. Can we move on?
Well, yeah. I mean, again, so yeah, like I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong. Danny, he died with a good purpose.
He was my favorite because he died with. If you want to define died with honor,
Danny Pink. I mean,
Danny Pink. He led a group of Cybermen to explode in the sky, and it was beautiful.
Even though it was technically only for Clara, everyone
It was
else.
for Clara.
And he's like pretty much screw everybody else. It's like you got lucky.
You got lucky that Clara was in danger. That's pretty much him and the doctor's.
Yeah.
Like, how many situations have we had in the past seasons where the doctor is ready to say, "Well, sucks to be you guys," and then Clara gets in danger, and he's like, "Well, crap."
Yeah.
Like that certain episode.
Yeah.
God dang it.
But yeah. So.
We should probably wrap this up.
Yeah.
Got that out of my system. Do you have anything you need to get out of your system before this goes over an hour?
Not that comes to mind.
Good episode.
I feel, I will say this, I feel knowing how freaking huge the finale is.
Which I'm so excited about. I'm ready for epicosity.
Kind of makes sense why they bring River Song back in the Christmas special.
episode.
Like, she's the one person that could truly get the Doctor back under control.
Because she's River. I'm so pumped.
Again, I don't know how they're bringing her back. But at the same time, it's like, I don't care. Because she's really the one person the Doctor will, like, actually listen to.
I think it's somewhere in her timeline when she's still alive. Because I think I saw somewhere that she doesn't recognize him.
So the 12th?
Yeah.
Which would make sense.
Because she died. Well, technically she died with David Tennant, but in the Matt Smith era is when pretty much everything happened. Even though she says she's got records of all his faces, it doesn't seem like she really needs them because all she needs is 11.
Yeah, and
11
and 10
for a little bit.
So I mean, yeah. Obviously, these next 2 weeks are going to be crucial.
I'm excited.
They're going to be really crucial.
I'm so excited.
So yeah, so that's our review for Face the Raven, which I will admit though, I'm kind of sad they didn't make any references to. And I think it was Layton who said that.
Layton's gonna be so disappointed because
there's no references to Edgar Allan Poe's.
Not even a quote the Raven.
Well, see, like, so when we. Okay, sorry, I have to say that, sorry. We will end this soon.
We will end it, we promise.
But, like, when the first time we went by, like, we get a close-up shot of the Raven in this cage. I turned to her and I said, nevermore.
Nevermore.
And that's a reference to, of course, Edgar Allan Poe.
And it sucks because the perfect place to put that would have probably been in Clara's exit speech.
Yeah.
Nevermore.
Nevermore, yeah.
I don't know how, but it would have been awesome.
I mean...
Face the Raven, nevermore.
Yeah.
It fits!
It does, I mean...
How dare you!
So yeah,
For real.
So, I don't know. Hopefully we get more people next time, because these next two cannot be a two-person thing.
Come on!
This cannot be a two-person thing.
At least we need to get Connor back somehow. We need to drag him in.
I talked to him today when I saw him earlier, and he said he'd do his best to be here before Christmas. break. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have a girlfriend now, so I mean, you know,
yeah,
he's got priorities.
But she was at the group, so she clearly knows that Doctor Who is important.
Well, then we need to have a conversation with her about
Yes.
Saturday nights.
Saturday nights.
Um,
You can have them all Saturday in the morning up until 6.
yep. And then he must
Then
come.
he must come
he
to
must
us.
come because we need our ginger.
We need our ginger doctor.
Alright, so yeah, that's a review for Face the Raven.
I'm Jill.
Yep, she's Shell, I'm Zane, if you didn't know that by now. And we'll see you next time.
We will see you when it all goes down, or begins to go down.
Yeah, I think next week we're gonna start out probably be like,
Is it next Saturday yet?
yeah. But until then,
This is Gallifrey.
peace out.